Hey guys, my name is David from ScaleFit, and welcome to day two of a business builder series we're releasing for online fitness pros. The purpose of this series is to help you get started building your online fitness business as a one-on-one online coach. Um, we've already done day one. Day one is where we discuss the various different business models that we see in this industry most typically. They were low ticket subscription offers and then high ticket offers. Um, we really settle on building high ticket offers here at ScaleFit for a bunch of reasons, which we covered in the other video. So if you want to go have a look at that, understand why we make that sort of choice, why we settle on high ticket, please, by all means, go have a look at that. It'll really catch up to speed here. I'll make sure I place a link to it in the description. The purpose of this video series, frankly, is to educate all you guys so that if you want to build your online fitness business, I have the blueprint for everything that we do. I'm going to be taking us through everything from business model, marketing, acquisition, retention, team building, the whole kit and caboodle. So follow along for this. Unlike Alex Hormozy and how he used to say it, I'm David. I'm from ScaleFit, and we absolutely have something to sell you. If you want to buy from us and have us work with you to deploy this, we're not just your usual business coach. We go a lot more in depth insofar as helping you with delivery. Following along this guide that we release over the next few days, it would allow you to go ahead and do it yourself. Hopefully it helps you if you're going to be trying that for yourself and take some lessons, maybe some insights. And also, frankly, maybe the purpose of these videos is so that if you are contemplating working with someone, these videos will highlight to you why it should be us. There you go. Happy days. Cool. So today's session is we've already covered business models. Now we're going to talk about niching down and what that really means and how to do that, an actual process that we use to find your niche. Finding your niche, particularly online, is critically important. I see time and time again, if you have a look online, everyone's just a fitness, weight loss, transformation coach that are busy selling to and marketing towards the busy five guys posts you see everywhere. I help busy professionals. I help mums. Like that's what you see a lot of these days. And as is all things in marketing and in business, if everyone's doing it, no one's really doing it, and your message is not going to stand out at all. So those methods might have worked years ago, but they're becoming less and less effective, as I'm sure you've seen. Um, I know how they came about. Everyone got Alex Hormozy's $100 million offers and the leads book and really studied those and took their lessons. And it's really good stuff, very accessible, very well written. But what it's led to is a lot of people doing exactly what he does and what he practices and following the examples he set. So, where Gym Launch and gyms that ran businesses like in person gyms, seeking five guys for a transformation is doable and it works well, but it misses out on one key thing when it comes to niching. It's males, it's busy males, it's seeking a transformation, all good stuff there. But the niche is also within 5 miles of the gym. And that also really restricts how accessible that message is. Whereas, and so therefore, if a prospect sees that ad online, they go, oh, I'm busy. I want results. I want a transformation, and this gym is close to me. I'll go try that gym as opposed to any of the other gyms in my area. That's really effective. Online, however, that message is just it's just going to be lost. Everyone's doing it, and busy five guys doesn't stand out. And your marketplace is what? Every guy older than 30 or something like that. Like it's a pretty big market. When it comes to building an online marketing message, we can afford to get a lot more niche down, really try and target a specific avatar. There are a couple of ways you could do this. I could think of a few. We have one primary method, which is really focusing on certain professions. So rather than just a busy five guys, go out and find all of the real estate agents, all of the software engineers, and build a service for them. Why do we do it that way? It's because we get to have and create messaging that is hyper specific to them. And we also get to build a product that is suited to some of the problems they face. Right. So, what's a specific problem to realtors? Could be they're always on the road, they're always traveling. Could be that I don't know, they need to get super shredded because lean salespeople are better, get better results. I don't know. How can they eat on the run? What fast food can they eat and still lose weight and still stay in shape? Those might be tangible things about your service. I grant you, none of that's different to what anyone does. We all, as fitness coaches, can teach people all of that sort of stuff. However, as far as a marketing messaging goes, if I'm looking for a fitness solution and I see one fitness coach that just says, hey, I help you eat whatever you want, and then one fitness coach says, hey, I work with realtors and I know how hard it is to lose weight when you're always on the road eating fast food, I have that problem solved. That person, the second person, is much more relatable and much more believable. So that's why we like to go there. We also can do untangible things when it comes to our service offering, aside from the health and fitness aspect. That can be a really, really valuable one, building a community. So we also like to look for professions whereby if we build a community of a whole bunch of realtors or a whole bunch of software engineers, which, by the way, is the online fitness business I built. It was, I, in another life, was tech. I lived and worked in tech, had businesses in tech, and then wanted to run a fitness business. Happy days. So I went ahead and targeted software engineers because I have a lot of experience with them. I know that I know that as a general rule, software engineers aren't very much in shape. I know they also get RSI. I know they get bad backs because they're sitting all day. So I could build tangible solutions for that. But then I also know, as far as community goes, they love online communities and they participate in online communities as a general rule a lot. They like to share problems. They like to help each other with their coding. They also like to share jobs. Hey, I've got a job at this company. Who wants to come join? So the community aspect around building around that profession was very valuable. That was an important part. Now then, so we have a methodology called the Dream 100. The idea behind the Dream 100, it's around helping you research your target niche. It's a step-by-step process in researching your target niche. I ain't gonna lie, it's a hell of a lot of work. It really is. You actually have to understand your clients and who you're targeting. Who would have thought? And that takes energy and effort. But believe me, supercharges everything you will do from then on. It'll be in all of your marketing, it'll be in all of your advertising, it'll make you more believable. The leads that you get will be more engaged in your content. They'll get better results. They'll stay around for longer because of the community that you build and everything. So it's really worthwhile. It's a way to stand out as well. The idea behind the Dream 100 is that they are the Dream 100 clients in your niche. And I'm not talking like in generalities. I'm talking like for my Dream 100 clients, maybe Mark Zuckerberg is in one of my Dream 100 clients for software engineering, right? Dustin Moskovitz, like all these different famous software engineers. Maybe they're all in my Dream 100. The reason why we do that is that these individuals are like the archetypes of your client persona. A lot of software engineers will be having a look at and will engage in the content and the message, and they almost have mentorship from your Dream 100 effectively. So, like to the real estate example, maybe all your realtors follow Grant Cardone and whoever else, but Grant Cardone. And so, therefore, if you research Grant Cardone, as part of that process, you will learn a lot about realtors. You will learn a lot about how they think, how they speak, what their problems are, etc. So the process of analyzing your Dream 100 clients helps you understand all the other people in your niche. But first of all, we have to figure out what our niche is going to be. And that's where we have this tool. This whole tool that I have here, I can share it with you. I'll put a link in the description, send us a request. I'll send you a copy of this. Or you can just take notes on this process and use an Excel spreadsheet, use a Word document, whatever you want. That's all fine. Woo. So then, start here. This is how we get to identify what sort of niche we want to go after before we start identifying our dream 100 clients and then researching. So there's 3 steps. Identify your niche, select your niche, identify your dream 100, and then research your dream 100. I like to use a really simple matrix here. So that I'm going to list a whole bunch of different professions that I have down the side here. You can just put in everything you can think of. I like to work from interests. So like I like tech. So out of tech, I could go with startup founders, I could go with software engineers, I could go with whomever, data analysts, whatever. I also like to cook. So I could think of chefs, private chefs, etc. I like cars. So maybe I could think of car dealers, car salesmen, mechanics, all these sorts of things, right? So I like to put down a list of all the different professions that I could target. Then I like to answer 3 questions. How well do I know this profession and how interested in this profession am I? Because it's going to help if I'm interested in them. I'm going to be more passionate about learning about them and helping them. How wealthy is this profession? If it's a school teacher, they probably don't have a lot of money. And if you're going to be offering a high ticket service, it's going to be difficult to sell to a school teacher. They don't get paid a lot. But software engineers can get paid a lot. So they're typically pretty wealthy. And then how valuable would a community be to this group? So again, software engineers, not only would they get to be part of a journey with other people losing weight and getting fit, but also they could share their coding problems, they could collaborate on new tools together, they could share each other's jobs. In my community with the other software engineers, I went over not just after, but software engineers in the FANG companies, so like Facebook, Amazon, Netflix. I went Google, I went Alphabet, I went after those customers, those software engineers. So the community aspect of them was hugely valuable because when a job became available in one business, they were all jumping from one business to the other. Just like, hey, I've got a job at Facebook. We need this. Who wants it? And in the community, people were finding jobs. So that was really valuable to them. Now, chef, I don't know a lot about chefs, but I know a bit. I know they work way too much. I know that it's long hours. It's very stressful. It's too hot. They don't regularly get to eat. They regularly use a lot of amphetamines and all the rest of it to keep themselves active through their shift. They don't make a lot of money. I know we've got Gordon Ramsay. For the most part, chefs don't earn a lot of money. And community. Maybe they could help each other find jobs, but their jobs don't really pay a lot. So it's probably not all that valuable to have a community. Not really. So there you go. I will go through and put down all of these different professions, and I'm going to look for the professions that I can think of that I'm interested in that I rank high on as many of these 3 questions as possible. So software engineering for me, I know about it a lot. They make good money, and a community will be very valuable. This was a niche that I went for. That's why. So if you can't think of many professions, look to your interests and think about what professions they lead to. And if you can't even find a good niche in that group, think about your family. What does your dad do? What does your mum do? What does your sister do? Brother, uncles, aunts. What do they do? And think about it from them because you probably know something about their profession just on accident. You would have absorbed it over the years. So that would be helpful. All else fails, go out there and look around, frankly. Just have a look around, see what you can find. At this point, in this example, I realize now I'm going to work with software engineers. So now I need to go about finding the software engineers that I want to work with. in my Dream 100. I need to find my Dream 100 software engineers. And that's where we come over here to this part of the tool. Here is really where we could find prospectively our different clients. They could be on Facebook, they could be on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, newsletters, and online blogs, podcasts or radios, just anywhere that you can think of. If you can think of other places where you might be finding them, by all means, put them in here. Now then, how do I go about finding and identifying these Dream 100 clients? Frankly, I'm going to just go ahead and start searching. I'm going to go to YouTube and I'm going to search for professional software engineers, software engineering, like Microsoft, all the rest of it. I'll search Google to recommend me people in my niche you could go to ChatGPT. Who are some famous software engineers that have an online social presence? What are the biggest blogs on earth for software engineers and professional software developers? Ask these sorts of questions of ChatGPT. This process is supposed to be painful. And I'm looking for 100. Why? I really want you, and when I'm doing it, I want to expand and force myself to think creatively and find as many people as possible. Does it have to be 100? No. But don't just finish the job when you've done 3. Like, really push yourself here. And then you're going to go through and you are going to put down the account title and give yourself a link. So this is basically just a checklist almost of all the different accounts of your Dream 100 clients. You're going to make any notes about it that you need to and want to, problems and interests, just anything that you see at a very top level cursory glance. This is not for deep research. All we're doing now is identifying the Dream 100 clients that we have. Could be brands. It doesn't need to be an online personal brand. It could be a business brand. It could be a blog, like company brand, whatever. But find those Dream 100 clients. If you have any downloads that you want to be able to put in there, we can just, anything that's useful that when you're going along and researching it and starting the process of finding these Dream 100 clients, bookmark it, save it, find a way to come back to it pretty easily next time. Anything that you find in the process, bookmark, write down a note, do something to help yourself in the future. Now we go into the research phase. So we've identified the niche that we're after. We've found our Dream 100 clients, and now comes the painstaking and laborious part, which is actually researching every single one of those Dream 100. This process takes time. This is not something you do in an afternoon. This is something that can take weeks, depending on how much time you want to put into it. You can use resources like ChatGPT and the rest to help you in this process. But what I really think is best is if you find a social media account like Grant Cardone and you want to do realtors, watch lots of Grant Cardone's content because you will be able to speak like Grant Cardone about things Grant Cardone cares about in a way that will be relatable to lots of other realtors that also probably listen and watch Grant Cardone's stuff. If you can do that, your message will be more relatable to them. I'm not sure if you've noticed this. You can tell if someone listens to a lot of Joe Rogan because they talk about everyone being barely evolved space monkeys and have all these catchphrases. You can spot when people really spend a lot of time consuming someone else's content these days. So if you speak like them, you're more relatable. So ChatGPT can only help you so much. Got to go out there and watch and listen to the content. Now then, one way or the other, we go through this research bubble. We are going to go ahead and answer questions around their demographics, age, gender, location, education level. Did they finish high school? Did they not? Behavioral insights. How do they prefer to consume their information? So do we know Joe Rogan spends a lot of time on YouTube, listens to a lot of podcasts, and he goes down Wikipedia rabbit holes. We know that he has a lot of mentors and influence people. Like, he really likes Joey Diaz, for example. Like, and just listing these people, because the more we understand about them, the better we're going to be able to relate to them. What types of content do they engage with the most? Psychographics. Like, what motivates them? Is it financial success, personal growth, helping others? Like Joe Rogan, probably personal growth, right? He wants to learn. He's curious. That's why he's motivated. Financial success, maybe, but he was doing his podcast for a very long time before he ever made any money doing it. So it doesn't seem to be the primary motivator. Grant Cardone, on the other hand, seems to be very motivated by money, very much. What are their core values and beliefs? So consuming their content will help inform you answering these questions. Problems. What problems do they talk about? So Grant Cardone talks about banks are a problem. He talks about banks when they're not used properly are a problem. He talked about how he had problems with drugs. He talked about, so just listing and discovering all the problems that you can. And then also, what problems do you think we could help them with, either with health and fitness or via a community solution, like real estate agents? Relationships and building relationships are a huge part about how they go about getting work. So a community would probably help them, and they could work amongst each other and help each other. Probably very valuable. That's a problem. They need a bigger network. We could provide a network. History. When you watch their content, is there any particular video that seems applicable to defining them? So there are some episodes in the Joe Rogan Experience where I really feel like we as an audience got super, he really exposed himself and we really learned about Joe Rogan. Some of those podcasts would be very useful to listen to because they're just in one video, some incredibly powerful moments that really let us to know a lot about Joe Rogan. And again, if we know a lot about Joe Rogan, the chances are we know a lot about other comedians, other fighters, and other podcasters. Not to say they're all identical, but there's going to be a lot of shared stuff. And what's been really heavily consumed of theirs? What's something they've done that other people really consume a lot of? And then after we've gone through those bubbles, summarize them as best as you can in your words is super important. This process is to help you live and breathe your Dream 100. If you're going to sell them, you better sell to them. You better be able to speak their language and really understand your prospect. In this specific tool, I would probably just go ahead and copy this bubble 100 times and fill it out for everyone in my Dream 100. And then after I finish that process, I would look over all of my summaries for every member in the Dream 100, and then think about what's similar across these different Dream 100 clients. They should all be real estate agents or people in the real estate industry. What's similar? So that have a look at their summaries and see what's similar across all of them, because that's probably something that's pretty typical, obviously, in this niche. So if you can speak to that and address it, happy days. I know this seems like a lot of work, and it is. It's painful. But if you go through this process, understanding their interests, their concerns, their values, and everything else, you're going to have a better time and an easier time creating a compelling message that is unique to them, deliver a better service unique to them, and it will fuel everything in your business. To give an example about what I did in my company, I went for software engineers. And believe it or not, like I mentioned, I went for people that are in the FANG, Facebook, Amazon, Alphabet, Netflix, etc. I specifically went for and even targeted utilizing what I learned about researching engineers that work at these companies I went about using the advertising campaigns that we have on Meta and Google and YouTube and everywhere else to create ads that were specific to those people. In my research process, I learned that in Palo Alto, in Silicon Valley, for whatever reason, software engineers there, they all love rock climbing. Very common. Who knows why? But it is what it is. Now, I was looking to sell online personal training. I knew they had bad backs, RSI, they liked to rock climb, happy days. I went ahead and created online ad campaigns targeting key climbing gyms around the San Francisco Mountain View area, where I had and I recorded video of a squat rack that I assembled in a local gym, a local climbing gym. So in the middle of the climbing gym, there was a squat rack, and I exhibited some exercises there, pitched my service, and even shot some video where I was talking to other climbers, helping them with their grip strength, bad elbows, and all the rest of it. Sounds really weird, but if someone's scrolling on their Instagram and then all of a sudden they see a squat rack in a climbing gym and the person's speaking about software engineers getting fit so they can, and joining a community so they could get better work or more work, now at least my message is being heard, and it's being heard a lot more than just busy five guys. So that was a technique that I used. That was a pretty in-depth one, obviously. It's a pretty hard ad to make, but it paid dividends for me. And you can go about using the same thought process to creating marketing and messaging that is more applicable to your clients and to your target niche and actually stand out. So that's day 2, another day of theory. I promise you we're going to get to some more specifics very soon. We'll get a lot more tactical, but I'm sure you through this process why it's important that we spend some time here and actually select a niche and research them so that we can better message to them and advertise them. Thanks so much for your time, guys. By all means, in the description, you can find a link and you'll be able to get access to this tool, or just pen and paper, Excel spreadsheet, whatever you want. But doing this research is how you build a valuable company. So I hope that you really put some effort in here. Next steps, we're going to go and we're going to start speaking about advertising and actually deploying this messaging and how you can go about building ads. We're going to talk about everything really when it comes to running ads on various platforms, Meta, Instagram, Facebook. We'll also go over some Google ads. We'll even go through some Spotify ads probably. Spotify ads are pretty great. Again, you could create a message to realtors and have your ad played out in a real estate podcast on Spotify. That'd be great. So yeah, we're going to go through how to actually run and launch ads. We're going to talk about interest-based marketing and everything else like that, as well as AI-driven advertising that all the platforms offer these days. And then from there, we've got other sessions we're going to be doing as well, ranging from sales to fulfillment. So like actually delivering your service, building your team and everything else. It's all still to come. Hope you guys stick around and I will chat to you soon. Cheers. Bye.